Scary stories about mystical and supernatural phenomena at weddings interest a great many people. Today is one of such stories.
I decided to get married late. I didn't want to trade my freedom for the bonds of marriage. And as it happened, I dated my beloved for about 10 years. I didn't cheat and I didn't promise. I wasn't ready for such a development. And for such a long period of our relationship began to fade a little. But I thought about legalizing it all because of the statute of limitations. However, life changed everything in a different way. I met a very nice girl during a business trip and soon realized that I could not live without her. I went to see my former lover to explain myself. I even asked for forgiveness. But it wasn't that simple. My ex made a huge scandal. There were a lot of accusations, but I can also be understood. The heart wants what the heart wants. When I was already leaving, I heard her shouting at me in the back. "You know, Archie, you belong to me anyway. I'll be your bride no matter what." I just sighed. What you don't hear from a woman in a fit of rage. The most amazing thing is that I expected further calls, threats. But the former disappeared from the horizon of life, as if she did not exist. All 6 months while I and my new bride were getting ready for the wedding, she did not make herself known. And now, the day so long awaited for me has come. The ransom, flowers, a sea of congratulations, there was nothing. Insisted my bride, that the wedding was quiet. Even my parents were not present. There were only witnesses. Because the ceremony still decided to hold. We came to the registry office, where we were separated into different rooms before the wedding. I stand in front of a mirror, and suddenly I hear my dress rustling behind me, but I can't see anybody in the mirror. I turn around and see that my ex-girlfriend is standing in front of me in a white wedding dress. I got goosebumps when I looked at her. My ex-girlfriend's face was somehow motionless and gray, hair disheveled under the veil. And the look, I'd never seen anything like it, heavy, hypnotizing. She looked at me, and I felt as if I was drowning, losing the last vestiges of will. I begin to think that my mind and my will are frightened into a dark corner. She holds out her hand to me, her gray skin contrasting greatly against the snow-white dress. "Come, Archie." I think she did not part her lips, but clearly I heard these words. I had no strength to resist. It was mystical. I took her under my arm and went to the wedding hall. And most importantly, the light faded behind the windows, gray all around, lifeless. And we are walking in dense twilight along the scarlet red carpet, where at the end of it a hunched figure in a red robe is waiting for us. Standing with his back to us, and a hood over his head. Then slowly he turns to our footsteps, and instead of his face he is a gray blurred veil. It swirls like smoke, sometimes turning into an eerie semblance of a face. And it was as if we were not even in a registry office, but in a huge temple with high vaults. We approached the altar and stood in front of the hooded figure. "Marry us," my bride ordered. Honestly, out of fear, I can't remember what happened next. It was like a gray fog covered everything. All this supernatural triumph passed me by. I woke up when I felt my shoulder being shaken. It turned out that I was standing in front of the mirror in the registry office, and the real bride was trying to bring me to my senses. I was shaking all over, and sweat broke out on my forehead. I very clearly understand that I was somewhere just now. But where? Not even scary stories about such places have not heard. The wedding went well. We are now living modestly. But that does not let me go feeling that in the house besides us someone else is. Sometimes I hear the rustle of a dress, someone quietly whispering in the night calling my name. Sometimes my engagement ring disappears for a week or more, and then I find it in the most unusual places, and even soiled with fresh damp earth. You ask me, why didn't you go to your ex? Didn't you find out? I called, but the phone was disconnected, and when I got there, my mother told me that she was gone a month after we parted. She refused to tell me any details, only said that she was buried in a white wedding dress. Such a mystical, bloody thing. I don't even know what will happen next.
Subscribe to the channel. There will be many more interesting things.